Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. So we talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm your host, Jeffrey. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. We just passed 40 and now 50 subs. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for all the support, and I hope I can continue to make good content you guys will like in the future. Now in the Pac-12, there's a game between the California Golden Bears and the Washington State Cougars. Who do I think is going to win this battle of the great Pac-12 offenses? Let's find out. Now, California starts the season. Justin Wilcox, they're 3-1. They beat UC Davis 34-13. That was a really good win there. And then they beat UNLV 20-14 in a game that they almost lost, but UNLV does seem to be a little bit better of a team this year. Then they lost at Notre Dame 24-17. And that was a game that they maybe could have won, but they let it slip away. And unfortunately for Cal, they didn't win, but they were competitive against Notre Dame, even though Notre Dame's not as good this year. And then they beat Arizona 49-31 in a game that I picked Arizona to win, but they proved me wrong, and they got the win. Now, quarterback Jack Plummer, he had 245 yards and 3 touchdowns against Arizona. He is the transfer quarterback from Purdue, and he's playing really well for California, and he's done very well to replace Chase Garbers, their quarterback from last year. Running back Jay Knott, 274 yards and 3 touchdowns. This guy is a true freshman running back, and he is a stud. This guy is fantastic. California is very glad to have him because this guy could easily be playing at USC or whatever. He's fantastic. Wide receiver J. Michael Sturdivant, 60 yards and a touchdown, and wide receiver Jeremiah Hunter, 82 yards and a touchdown against Arizona. Both fantastic receivers. California's got a good offense, and that's something you can't say about California in the past. Usually their offense hasn't been very good, but their offense is really, really good this season. And on defense, safety Craig Woodson, 7 tackles, and linebacker Jackson Sermon has 3 tackles. On the Washington State side, you've got Jake Dickert. He's 3-1 to start this season, and Jake Dickert, he took over last year for Nick Rolovich midseason as the interim coach, but now he's the head coach. They beat Idaho in Week 1, 24-17 in a game that Idaho almost won, and Idaho is playing a lot better this year. They won at Wisconsin 17-14. That was the big one. They won at Camp Randall, something that's hard to do. They beat Colorado State 38-7, and then they lost to Oregon 44-41 in a game that they were winning the whole time, but then Bo Nix led Oregon down the field and they won the game. Quarterback Cameron Ward, transfer from Incarnate Word. Great quarterback, 375 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, and he rushed for a touchdown. Again, this guy is a guy that can play. He's a dual threat. He didn't run too much against Oregon, but a lot of people think this guy can be an NFL quarterback even though he came from the FCS level. Again, it doesn't matter that you play at the FCS, the FBS level. If you can play, it doesn't matter, and Washington State got him out of the transfer portal because they could tell that he was really good. They had success in the transfer portal before with Gardner Minshew. Running back Nakia Watson, 36 yards and a touchdown. Washington State does need to get the running game going a bit better. They're not running the football too much because the throwing game's doing so well, but the run game's got to improve a little bit. Wide receiver Renard Bell at 84 yards and wide receiver Dazon Stribling, 84 yards and a touchdown against Oregon. A lot of other receivers played fantastic for Washington State. It wasn't just those two guys. The receiving core is deep and long, and they have a lot of talent. On the defensive side of the ball, defensive back Derek Langford had 6 tackles, and linebacker Travion Brown had 3 tackles against Oregon. Now, both teams here, who do I think is going to win? I think Washington State and California's defense could be a little bit better. They both can play defense, but as you can see, they are giving up some points against better competition. And with both of these teams being fantastic offensive teams, it's going to make it very interesting to see who's going to win, because California, as you can see, has put up 49 against Arizona, and Oregon put up 41 against Oregon. And they've given up 31 points. California has to Arizona, and 44 to Oregon. Washington State has. So both teams' defense could be better, but they can play defense. And both offenses are elite. Who do I think is going to win this game? I picked against Cal last week, and I got burned. Do I dare pick against Cal again? Unfortunately for California Golden Bears fans, I am. I think California can win, but I think it's at Washington State. And when you have 2 teams that are eerily similar, both are not as good on one side of the ball on defense, and both are very good on the offensive side of the ball, home field advantage is sometimes the difference. I'm going to pick Washington State to win 38-35. I think Cal can win this game. Cal's got a good team. Justin Wilcox is doing very well this season. And obviously Jake Dickert's got Washington State rolling with some transfers. Both teams have transfers. Both teams are good, but again, both aren't very good on defense. They could be better. They're not bad, but they're not great. And on offense, both teams are very, very good. And I think the home field advantage is going to be the difference. I think Washington State's going to win 38-35. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below. Comment down below what you think about this Cal-Washington State game and who you think is going to win and why. and I will see you next time.